Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today's show is Calcium Ion Therapy and Advanced Water Fasting with Jay Lee. If you'd like to learn more about SAC Ionic Calcium Therapy, please go to my SAC Ionic Calcium guide in my library at docofdetox.com, and you will find a great selection of shows on conditions such as advanced water fasting, arthritis, cancer part 1 and 2, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, nutrition, infectious diseases, and heart disease. Understand something. We have given you a complete library to show you that this is one of the most major breakthroughs in scientific nutrition in the last 75 to 100 years. So let me just talk about our guest a little bit. In 2009, Dr. Paul Lee invented sigma antibonding calcium, otherwise SAC Ionic Therapy, in efforts to make a better biological calcium. When his friend fully recovered from the last stage of prostate cancer with colon metastasis, only with SAC Ionic Therapy, intensive research on SAC began, leading to the discovery of its amazing effects on many degenerative diseases such as osteoporosis, Parkinson's, and autoimmune diseases. Yes, today we're going to be talking about the calcium ion therapy and fasting. Understand something. Ions are the most important thing, and guess what? They're invisible. Calcium ions are the most important thing to the human body. There is no more important molecule than calcium ions, and this you're going to find out today. It unleashes stem cells. It unleashes the power for the body to heal. And how does it do it? It brings you back to balance. It brings back the youth of the body. Think about when you were younger. Think about how things went so smooth, how you were able to lose weight easily when you needed to. You were able to hold on to muscle. You had strong bones. You had clear thinking. All of this is so important. And understand something, when you do advanced water fasting and use SAC calcium, which I will be talking about my advanced water fasting, because it's not just water fasting, it's advanced water fasting. And you'll be able to go into my library, okay, at docofdetox.com and click on the 6-day advanced water fasting guide. And that's where you can unleash the power to reverse the aging process and disease. And it's not about anything except what your body was naturally born to do. So let's begin the show. Good day, Jay. Thanks for joining us.
Good day, Dr. Darrell Wolfe. How are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see you, my friend.
All right, I'm excited to talk about how ionic calcium therapy can help with fasting, especially your advanced water fasting. I think this is one of the most essential part.
You know, Jay, I really truly believe that if people don't adopt, water fasting, and even more so advanced water fasting in this time and this age, we are going to be in such big trouble. See, everybody has forgotten to rely on the healing powers of the body. I don't know if you noticed it, Jay, but over the last, I would say 25 years, we actually went from symptoms of the body being a warning sign telling us to lovingly get it together, to when we get symptoms in the body, that they are a disease, there's something evil, and we need to kill those symptoms. Today, people do not understand the healing power of the body. They don't understand that they could unleash stem cells more powerfully than anything else they can do when they do advanced water fasting and the SAC calcium. They do not understand, that sometimes less is better. Less is the healing. Like when we stop eating and giving ourselves a break, because today people are eating themselves to death on an emotional and physical level. And you know what? The other thing is you know as well as I do with fasting, Jesus used to fast. Fasting helps you get into a meditative state, into a still, a peace, a calm. It helps you to go inward so that you're not focused externally, but you're focused internally. And I think that that's where the real healing begins.
Well, there are many benefits of fasting, as you know. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is autophagy, which is your body getting rid of your bad cells and bad cell membranes and bad DNA, mitochondria, and bad muscle and tissue cells, and essentially kind of cleaning up your system. And also stem cell increase. Your body can repair, and our ability to heal is amazing. But then often these cells, stem cells, are not activated properly, or not activated at all. And while you're fasting, your stem cells increase, and it could actually go and repair your tissue. And also you can reset your DNA, repair metabolic process, and also can increase the ketones. This is great for brain clarity and also in activating stem cells. And your body can also reset microbiome while you're fasting, and also increase growth hormone to, to really to help your body to repair. But much of these processes are actually dependent on ionic calcium homeostasis. It's very important because as we grow older, we start to lose calcium from our bones, and it calcifies our body in cellular level, where it really damages mitochondrial function and causes oxidative stress that damages our cellular function, as well as, most importantly, it interferes with healthy calcium signaling. So in a way, your cells are getting the wrong signals to do wrong things, and that's one of the major reasons for aging and even cancer, right? So just to recap what ionic calcium really is, we do know that it plays a very important role in our body, and ionic calcium is the only physiologically active form of calcium. Ionic calcium is for muscle and heart contraction, and definitely building bone and teeth. It regulates stem cells, the neurotransmitter, the second messenger, hormone secretion and enzyme activation, and proper immune response, and all of that. When cells going through all these processes, it's important that you have the ideal exact amount of calcium concentration extracellularly and intracellularly. Otherwise, the communication breaks down. And when communication breaks down, everything breaks down. But this happens to everybody as we grow older. As you can see in this diagram here, that ionic calcium plays very important processes in all the cellular function. And it also plays a major role in leading other mineral functions in our body. The thing is that as we grow older, we lose this ionic calcium homeostasis. Let me give you one example. When space station has this astronaut stay there for about 6 months, in average, they lose about 14 to 30% bone loss. That's not because their diet is lacking calcium, they're getting plenty in their system, but there's no gravity in space, and therefore our bones are not really stressed. And when our bones are not stressed and challenged, then all the calcium they're putting in your system is not fully utilized as ionic calcium. Why? Because all the calcium is going in as protein-bound calcium. And protein-bound calcium is not physiologically active. Somehow it has to be converted to ionic calcium. But the thing is that as we grow older, our life becomes more sedentary and not really stressing bone out as much as we should. So we cannot really utilize this protein-bound calcium that well, along with all that the stress of life and kind of a processed food that we're taking in that makes your body acidic. It's all leaching precious ionic calcium, and therefore our body actually reaches out to our bones and breaks down our bones to get that needed ionic calcium. But there's a heavy cost, the price that we pay for that, because once we're taking that ionic calcium from breaking down the bones, our body goes into calcification mode. That means all the calcium that's coming out from our bones actually helps our body to calcify. That means it's storing too much calcium in cellular level that causes oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and disrupts calcium signaling, right? So here it is. All the calcium that you're taking from supplements and even food, it all goes into our system as protein-bound calcium. It requires digestion and help by vitamin D. Our body tries to maintain a good level of ionic calcium in our blood serum because that is what you used. But if we cannot get that ionic calcium from protein calcium that we're putting in through diet and supplementation, then it reaches out to our bones. Problem is with Americans is that we are actually getting a lot of calcium in our system, but then the thing is that we're not really able to utilize that protein calcium as ionic calcium. So we have actually invented the world's first ionic calcium delivery system. And this calcium utilizes sigma antibonding, and this is how it looks like. It has a similar molecular structure as regular calcium carbonate, but it utilizes weak sigma antibonding. And therefore, this molecule has electrical charge, and this is how it looks like. It's very weak bonding compared to strong pi bonding in regular calcium. And this actually goes into our system as ionic calcium. No digestion needed, no help of vitamin D, just osmotic pressure and diffusion. It goes into our system as ionic calcium, and it is able to trigger responses in our system. And it is actually a very small amount, but its ability to trigger the cascade of hormonal responses, that's what's bringing all this healing power of taking SAC. It actually triggers a pituitary gland to release thyroid stimulating hormone that starts massive osteoblast to build your bone. And while it's happening, it actually not only builds strong bone, but actually clears up all the displaced excess calcium throughout the body. So we have to know that SAC, or ionic calcium, is not really calcium supplementation because you're putting very small amount, but in the form that our body can recognize right away and trigger hormonal responses. So we call this a therapy. And we have done some research to show that compared to regular calcium, SAC calcium's bone building power was about 100 times more than regular calcium. And here you can see that even in human trials, that we are able to increase the bone density significantly, right? And even while there's a bone fracture going on, SAC calcium can really help the bones to heal much faster and more completely. But the most important thing is that it actually decalcifies not only bone spurs or joint calcification or soft tissue calcification, as you can see in this calcific tendonitis case. You can see here that the bone, the calcification just completely disappears, but it also does that in cellular level. It clears our cells of excess calcium, so mitochondrial function can be restored, and oxidative stress can go down, and calcium signaling can be restored. And that is very important because when 60 trillion cells in our body gets restored, then its health effect is going to be just mind-blowing. I'd like to share Dr. Thomas Levy's comment here because he's the calcium expert. And I mean, you can find a lot of research that backs what he says, that it is actually that chronic loss of calcium from our bones that's causing this excess calcium buildup in our cells. And that's what's causing most of the degenerative diseases that you're familiar with. Over 150 degenerative diseases are related to calcification in cellular level. So this research says that subtle dysregulation of calcium ion signals have been linked to some of the major diseases in humans, such as cardiac disease, schizophrenia, bipolar, Alzheimer's, and I can go on and on with Parkinson's, ALS, multiple sclerosis, all the autoimmune diseases. This is what's happening in our body because of all the calcium that is lost from our bones, and it's accumulating in cellular level. And SAC is the only thing out there that could actually start the process to clear this calcification, to reverse these conditions as well. So here's a kind of summary. What happens when cellular calcification happens, there's oxidative stress, again, calcium signaling breakdown, mitochondrial dysfunction, and cellular inflammation. It leads to degenerative diseases, and this happens to everybody as you grow older. And then it accompanies chronic inflammation and also autoimmune response. Now, there's one thing before we talk about all the good things about fasting. There's one danger of fasting, and this is backed by a lot of studies out there, is that they could actually, it actually poses a risk to cardiovascular health by developing atherosclerosis, because your body needs calcium all the time. And then if your calcium is not there, then it will just break down your bones to take that calcium out of your bone while you're fasting. And once your body goes into the calcification mode, then these plaques can build up. But the thing is that if you're taking SAC while you're fasting, this one danger of fasting can be prevented, okay? By actually your body to utilize that time, because your body needs calcium, but your body has actually a lot of calcium that is displaced. And ionic calcium can actually help utilize that displaced calcium. So while you're fasting, you can actually speed up that cleanup process. But let's talk about autophagy. I think this is one of the major benefits of doing fasting, right? Dr. Oshumi in 2016 received the Nobel Prize on autophagy. So while you are fasting, cells actually break down proteins and all these non-essential components and reuse them for energy. And it destroys really invading viruses and bacteria and sends them off for recycling. And also cells use autophagy to get rid of these damaged structures, right? But then we do know that from his study that somehow this amazing process of cleaning up, it doesn't work properly when you have cancer and infectious diseases and all these immunological diseases, autoimmune disease and neurodegenerative disorders, right? But all this, right, is related to actually disturbance in ionic calcium homeostasis. And you know what SAC calcium can do? It can actually help restore that, right? And also the very function of autophagy. Here's an interesting research you can see here. This is a liver cell. Liver cells actually live 200 to about 400 days inside our body, but then outside it only survives 30 days. And this is actually in vitro, and these cells are sitting in where there's plenty of nutrients and essential hormones are provided. But then they found out that if actually they remove the nutrients intermittently, then these cells actually survive longer. Very interesting study that shows how fasting can help us to live longer. But here's one research I'd like to share with you. What is the calcium ion and calcium signaling has to do with autophagy, right? It's been just shown through many different studies that calcium has shown to control the various stages of autophagy. And these signals can trigger autophagy, but sometimes calcium signals can inhibit autophagy. So you can see that autophagy depends very much on the precise regulation of ionic calcium because it's all about signaling. If you're getting the wrong signaling, then autophagy actually can be hindered and not promoted, right? So another research shows that in regulating autophagy by calcium ion, it's very important that when cells actually encounter stressful conditions, which is when we're fasting, it says here that calcium signaling is intensified and elevated calcium level is required for autophagy induction. In other words, when we are fasting, it is that elevated calcium ion that really helps to start autophagy, to go strong in really cleaning up the garbage that we have in our system. So that is autophagy, and I'm sure Dr. Wolfe, you have a lot to share about autophagy, right?
Oh, I do. And you might get a little bit of that happening when you're doing intermittent fasting, but you really need to do, something like water fasting. And then what we call advanced water fasting is using high frequency, okay, energy medicine, because we can't call it supplementation. You can't call SAC calcium ion supplementation because it's not truly a supplement. It's more of a therapy. And we have found, and I'll tell you something right now, we have had people go on the advanced water fasting from A to Z, and we've had tens of thousands of people do this. And we do the advanced water fasting every 2 months. Every 2 months we do that because we like to be able to get people who, they're scared to do it, but they just want to sit on the sidelines and, watch the first time. And we have all the information. We go step by step. I'm on with them for 6 days. And I answer their questions every day while they're doing it. So if it's their first time, so they get through it, because fear is always the big thing. But the reality is when we kick in energy medicine therapy, not supplementation. So we use 4 different things that nobody else uses when we do water fasting. And the most important thing is the SAC. And the SAC does not turn on the digestive tract at all because it takes no energy. But what it does do, because of the calcium ions, it helps to create the extra energy in autophagy so that the body can go in and make the best time out of your advanced water fasting, going in and eating up the things that no longer work properly, removing them from the body so that the body can then do stem cell therapy, because stem cells can be made into any cell in the human body. So you've got the calcium ions helping with the autophagy to actually get rid of what shouldn't be there anymore. And then because calcium ions help with stem cells, now it's helping to bring the stem cells in. So we get total renewal. So it's like a twofold thing. Get rid of the old, bring in the new, and restore the body.
Yeah, definitely. I think what SAC calcium can do is really supercharge all the benefits of having fasting, right?
Oh, Jay.
Because ionic calcium really controls these processes.
Yeah. If I can say this, I've had people that have never fasted before, but were in a debilitating chronic condition. And I will tell you, not just a few people, this is going on all the time now, Jay, where people say, I don't want to live anymore. Okay? Where I've had people go, Jay, up to 60 days on my advanced water fasting, and they've never done a fast before. Mm-hmm. The reality is when you use energy medicine like SAC calcium, ATP, microscopic fulvic, the reality is that you're assisting the body without turning on any of the mechanisms, but just turning on everything that fasting does, but you're accelerating the benefits. So I will tell everyone that, you really need to take a look at this. And what we do is we tell people to start doing the SAC calcium, if they can, at least 4 weeks prior, because what we do is we get them to go on a perfect day diet. And a perfect day diet is basically a whole plant-based diet, where we get them to not just eat a whole plant-based diet, but to do structured water, to start doing proper exercises that open up the pelvis, that open up their microcirculation. And then we get them to start really detoxifying the colon and the liver. So if you do like anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks prep, and you're already on the SAC calcium, and start kicking things in, and then when you go into the advanced water fasting, a lot of people will get in there and go, well, I'll do the 6th day, and they'll get in and they'll go, wow, I want to keep going. And I'm going to tell you something. It's the invisible that creates the physical, and it's the invisible energy medicine that gives them the energy. And it also, all the reactions, and symptoms that people don't like, it buffers them down. They don't have to go through them. And that's the biggest problem. So if you've got something that's giving the body energy but not turning on the digestive tract, bypassing the Krebs cycle, but initiating all the benefits so much greater that advanced water fasting gives. People that have never done it before, people that think they could never do it, they go through it like a magic carpet ride.
That's right, because we do know how important ionic calcium is for the Krebs cycle. And then if you can still, body can still produce energy without turning on the digestive tract, it'd be great. It'd be great. And SAC can definitely help in that sense as well. The
Actually,
benefits
if
of
I can say, Jay, if
taking.
I can say this, I believe it's the Holy Grail. I think it's the Holy Grail of it all. I think it was the missing link. Not only is SAC Ionic Calcium therapy one of the biggest scientific nutritional breakthroughs, but when you put that onto advanced water fasting, it's like attaching a rocket to your metabolism and to actually reversing the hands of time.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, autophagy and stem cell activation is very important. But then, if you are already in the state where all the signals that's needed for autophagy and stem cell activation is already compromised, then going through that the fasting and trying to activate these processes would be a lot harder. But with SAC, you can restore that the signaling that's essential and crucial for effective autophagy and stem cell activation. Then, like you said, it's like putting a rocket.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And the one thing is guess what? You could have told me this, but the reality is I needed to work with this, and I needed to work with this with not hundreds, but thousands of people doing this. And like I said, everyone, the proof is in the pudding. I can say something, but the reality is you're gonna figure this out. You just need to take a look at the science. You need to take a look at my track record, and then all you got to do, if you don't want to get involved, at least start taking the SAC Ionic Calcium, okay, before you even do something like the fasting. But our next fasting is going to be around January the 9th. So that'll be our preparation. So that means that we'll be having people come in and we do a 2-week prep. So then they do 2 weeks of just trying to eat a sane diet, getting rid of the things that are toxic, bring down the toxic load. And then we go into this 6-day advanced water fasting. I promise you, anyone that wants to get involved in this, you are going to see, and we do this every 2 months. So if you want to be a bystander, be a bystander. But you're going to see where other things have failed. This isn't going to fail. If you've got a 20-foot hole and you need a 20-foot ladder, you don't need a 10-foot ladder. There's so many times, Jay, that people come to me and go, I feel like it's coming together, but then I slide back. And it's because you've got to renew your cells. You've got to renew your cells. You can't keep working with the old program. So we got to get rid of the old program, and we got to initiate a new program, and that's exactly what SAC ions do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Right. You can see here. I can just show you one of the research. It talks about how ionic calcium is so important in stimulating your stem cells. It says, acting as an intracellular messenger, calcium ion has a key role in cell signaling pathways in various differentiation stages of stem cells. Calcium ion mediated signaling is essential for maintenance of stem cells, for promoting their development and differentiation. Right. So, we definitely want our stem cells to be active and able to repair. But then as you grow older, when the calcification happens in our system, especially in cellular level, this calcium signaling is all done, right? You're not getting the essential signaling to really call stem cells for action. But with SAC, we have seen that the stem cell action has been significantly increased and able to really repair damaged parts. And we have seen this really happening to a lot of patients who had damaged kidney from GFR 10 to all the way up to 60. And then we had patients with damaged cartilage and really able to regrow because of stimulating chondrocytes, right? All these things are happening, and it's really giving our body a chance to recover. Our body has tremendous healing properties, and we're able to really provide that environment for our body to really come back and repair itself. And nothing's more important than our body being able to communicate properly, and that's done through this signaling, ionic calcium signaling for the first time, you can restore that. And the benefit that we're getting because of this, while we're fasting, for stem cell activation and as well as autophagy and also the dead cells. I mean, the cells that are really damaged, the cells that need to really commit suicide, apoptosis. It's also, I guess, by restoring the calcium signaling done more properly, and that's why we were able to see that effect for cancer patients as well.
Absolutely. I don't think that everybody, if you're watching this for the first time and you've heard this for the first time, I don't think you're really getting this. I don't think you get the emphasis of what we're dealing with here. This is not just some nutritional breakthrough. I have to tell you that I have countless histories and case histories of people that, they were told to go home. They were good, and I'm not kidding. They were told to go home. There was nothing that could be done for them. Right? So what do you need to do? You need to unleash your God-given power to heal. All right? We have forgotten that the body can heal. And you know what? Instead of making it a hard journey, just think about something. The invisible can turn on the physical. And that's what we're talking about. These are ions, but understand something. They are so very powerful. They do over 100,000 different things in the body. It's all about energy, and understand, people do not have energy when they're sick. People do not have energy even if they're not sick today. Most people are lacking energy. So where are you going to get your energy from? Well, take a look. You're going to find it in the SAC Ionic Ion, calcium ion. Right, Jay?
Definitely. I mean, we experience it all the time. And then also, I know you're experiencing with many of your patients who are partaking in advanced fasting. So we definitely recommend this. And if there anybody watching really interested in SAC in other diseases, we have made tons of videos that really focuses on other topics as well.
Yes, we have a whole library, everyone. And I'll be going through that in a couple of minutes. But here's what you need to do. If you'd like to move forward, all right, you can call us at the clinic, because SAC Ionic Therapy is not on our shop. It's not like you can just go buy the product, okay? And understand, there are a few different ones, okay? And if you go to the website, you'll be able to see this. We don't have them up on the shop because we need you to call, okay? Everyone needs to call the clinic. They need to talk to me. We're going to talk about your condition. We're going to talk about what and how to do it, because this is a very powerful therapy and you need to be treated properly. And we need to know exactly what's going on with you. So you can always call us at 855-900-4544. And my extension is number 5. And you can call me directly and we can talk about the reasons why you're interested in SAC. And then we can have a consultation with you and talk about your symptoms and talk about how we can work with you and work with maybe your doctor or other protocols, because it's all about just supporting you, okay? So understand, if you're interested in it, you go to my library, and the library is at thedocofdetox.com. Click on library, go in, click on the SAC Ionic Calcium Guide, and you're going to find numerous different videos on every major type of condition and why and how SAC calcium is a scientific nutritional method on how to bring balance back into the body. What do you think, Jay?
Definitely. It's really important for people to know that SAC therapy is not really targeting the symptoms, but it actually targets the very, the root of all the diseases, which is calcification that causes mitochondrial dysfunction and causes oxidative stress that damages cell functions, as well as disrupting ionic calcium signaling. So you got to wait. You got to wait until your cells actually recover, and then the body will turn on different responses, a cascade of responses that can really lead you back to health again. So it may take some time in the beginning to see the results, but then once your body's ready and the results that you'll be seeing is just going to be mind-blowing. And I guess we have seen through many of the patients that has taken SAC, and it's important that you really need to have the guidance of the qualified practitioners to guide you through this therapy, and that's why we do not move SAC to patients directly, but it has to be through the qualified practitioners like Dr. Wolfe.
Yes, and understand, everyone, as I was saying, it's really important that you get this. SAC Ionic Therapy is giving you back what you had, okay, when you were in prime health. So all it's doing is turning on what you have already, okay? It's allowing the body to actually energetically move through right down to the cellular level. And like Jay was saying, did you know that mitochondrial damage is the true disease that's going on today? And it doesn't matter what symptom they say you have or disease they say you have, you've got mitochondrial damage. And we know that the SAC Ionic Calcium, okay, targets that very situation. Jay?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nowadays, a lot of doctors are saying that all these diseases are caused by mitochondrial dysfunction. And then some of them are saying, oh, it's all because of oxidative stress. It's because of inflammation. And then there are other doctors who are saying that, oh, these are all related to autoimmune response. But the thing is that when you actually put them all together, in the very core of that is ionic calcium disruption. The homeostasis is broken. The calcification has happened in cellular level. When there's enough ionic calcium in the walls of mitochondria, that's what's causing mitochondrial dysfunction. There's a primary cause. And then your mitochondria becomes a factory for free radicals. Your body producing free radicals, too much free radicals that damages DNA, RNA, proteins. And then calcium signaling is broken. Right? Your cells doing the wrong stuff. Right? The thing is that we all go there as we age because we're losing bone mass. But here's a way now we can actually help reverse that.
Absolutely. So, like I said, everyone, check us out, check out the library, and know that approximately every 2 months, the Doc of Detox does a 6-day advanced water fasting challenge. And you can go longer than 6 days, you can go shorter than 6 days, or you can sit on the sideline and just get comfortable with it. But understand something. Advanced water fasting is unleashing the power of the unseen healer within you. Jay, is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone before we go?
Well, thank you, Dr. Wolfe, for the time together to share about SAC calcium again. And I'm hoping that, I know you had a lot of good cases, people recovering, combining SAC with advanced water fasting. And it'd be great if you can also share that with us one day.
Absolutely. You know what? It's sometimes that's not so easy, right? You're so busy running a practice, and we have so many people. As you already know, Jay, we have a lot of people on SAC. I think you already know how much the Doc of Detox is using SAC. We use SAC in all our therapies. We use SAC with everybody in every condition from A to Z because, hey, listen, as Jay just stated, guess what? It's a mitochondrial damage. It's oxidative damage. It's inflammatory damage. It's an autoimmune disease. Actually, it's calcium ion disruption and displacement. That's what it truly is. So check us out. If you would like to learn more about SAC Ionic Calcium, please go to our SAC Ionic Calcium guide in our library at docofdetox.com. And like I said, you will find a great collection of shows on conditions such as, like we did today, advanced water fasting, arthritis, cancer, part 1 and 2, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, nutrition, infectious diseases, and heart disease, and so much more. Thank you, Jay, for joining me today. Again, would you like to leave the audience with anything?
Yeah, I'd just like to stress that I know we're going through a difficult time, and then this time has really caused a lot of people stress in every level, right? And it's very important that we take care of our body as well. So, fasting is really one way to really recover from all the damage that we have accumulated. And definitely recommend Dr. Wolfe's advanced water fasting with SAC. That's going to supercharge cleaning up your system and rebuilding your system in every level. Definitely recommend it, and thank you.
Thank you, my dear friend, and all my best to you and your family. Well,
Okay.
everyone, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm just going to go over a couple things, and that is believe it or not, through all this time, we still have master practitioners, and they're traveling all over the place where they can still, and they're doing personal treatment and trainings. They'll come and they'll teach you how to do Wolfe non-surgical. And just know this, we are also unleashing the Whole Life Coach certification in January. That's right, online. So you can take that 8-day training, okay, and unleash that practitioner from within. And if you don't want to become a practitioner, but you want to take this training, guess what? You'll become the hero for your family on an emotional, nutritional, and a detox level. You'll learn the best of what exercise really is. I'm going to teach you in 8 days, and it doesn't matter if you've been a practitioner for 30 or 40 years. I'll give you a money-back guarantee that you are going to learn more in that 8 days when it comes to hacking and when it comes to really making a difference in people's lives, whether it be yourself or anyone else. And just know this, that you can get a consultation from us. Our consultations are only $150, and that's for a lifetime of support and guidance. Go to docofdetox.com, click on consultations, and then pick out the consultant you want. I always go over the case history with them. You get a 1-hour audio, and then you have access to me and them. And we're going to keep on creating that perfect day for you. What do you think? If you knew how to look after your mind and your body from the minute you woke up until you went to bed, do you think that make a difference in your life? Do you think that make a difference in your relationships? Well, that's what we want to do for you. Okay? And just know this, check out our upcoming courses. We have upcoming courses in January the 9th to the 29th. It'll be the Wolfe Non-Surgical and the Whole Life Coach, okay, in person. All right? And then we will be doing courses in Ixtapa, Mexico at the Ixtapa World Training and Healing Center in the new year. That's right. Nothing's going to stop us. We're moving forward, okay? We need to all move forward. We need to focus on what we want in our life. That's what you need to do today. You need to connect to the lion heart breathing. You need to keep a slight smile on your face, keep your shoulders back, keep your head up. And when somebody tells you something that you do not accept it. Okay? And understand something. Do not let them use fear against you. Okay? Do not let them use fear against you. Understand, we can never totally eliminate fear, but if we don't get a handle on it, it will burn us up. It will cause calcium problems in the body and all of the other diseases that we know of. So you need to know that your smile is your greatest weapon. Connecting to your breath is your greatest weapon. And check out my Braveheart 12 Loving Steps. Wouldn't you like to know how to totally unconditionally love yourself and love others? We're going to need it through these times, okay? All right, and you just know that we do live Q&As every Monday where you can actually send your questions in live or you can put them in underneath here. We will be doing another Q&A with Jay. We've got about another 2 or 3 shows we're going to show you, and then we're going to be doing a live Q&A with all your questions, and that'll happen in a few weeks, all right? I want to thank you for joining me, and just know this. All our shows are and Q&As are time-stamped, okay? And they're on YouTube 24 hours after we do them. So if you want to go to a specific topic or a specific question, you can go there. And if you want to download the audio, go to iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud from any show. Again, thank you, Jay, and all my listeners who make this show possible. God bless everyone. Take your power back. Better still, stop giving it away. And remember, 3, 2, 1, we've got this, Braveheart. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.